This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, hospital staff assaulted. 2 QE2 employees are stabbed and another injured by a patient at the emergency department.
Back home, a family rebuilds the house they lost in the 2023 Tantallon wildfire.
And historic sweep. Canada's top vision-impaired curlers compete in Sydney.
More snow for Wednesday night as temperatures drop rapidly into Thursday with gusty winds. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. We begin with some breaking news. 3 hospital employees have been injured by a patient at the Halifax Infirmary Emergency Department. 2 of the staff were stabbed.
One of those employees is in critical condition, and the ER is now closed except for life-threatening emergencies. The CBC's Luke Ettinger has the latest.
3 Halifax Infirmary staff were injured by a patient this afternoon here at the hospital. Sources tell CBC News 2 staff members were stabbed and one of them is in critical condition. Halifax Regional Police were called to the scene for a weapons complaint around 1 p.m. after staff announced a code silver, which means there is a patient with a hostage or a weapon. Police say 1 person is in custody and they have since secured the scene. They say there is currently no threat to public safety. Because of the incident, the emergency department at the QE2 was only accepting patients with life-threatening injuries Wednesday afternoon. In an email to staff, hospital CEO Karen Oldfield said many have been left shaken by the incident and are working closely with Halifax Regional Police as they investigate. Health Minister Michelle Thompson held a briefing late Wednesday, but says she's unable to release many details at this point.
There are staff on site who are supporting staff and patients who witnessed the event, and anyone that could be supported in a different environment would have been reallocated. I don't have all of the details, but I know that the safety and the care of the patients in the waiting room were top of mind as the incident unfolded.
Thompson confirmed the patient had a weapon, but she couldn't say what it was. Meanwhile, operations in the rest of the hospital haven't been affected. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Halifax.
A 32-year-old man is facing 4 charges, including impaired driving causing death after a 21-year-old woman was struck and killed by a vehicle in Halifax this week. Police allege Deepak Sharma hit the woman in a marked crosswalk at the intersection of Robie Street and Veterans Memorial Lane around 6 p.m. Monday evening. Police say Sharma had been involved in an earlier crash on Jubilee Road and was fleeing the scene when the collision occurred. The woman was taken to hospital where she died from her injuries.
A second man has died from injuries suffered in a house fire last Friday in Dartmouth. According to the brother of the first victim, Francis Anipuechi passed away due to complications from the injuries he sustained while attempting to rescue his partner, Ron Dunphy. The fire at a residence on Thompson Street also claimed the life of 83-year-old Dunphy. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
Lots of weather to talk about. Let's get to Ryan Snoddon now.
Yeah, folks were dealing with some slick driving conditions, Ryan.
Wednesday was a mess. Obviously, if you were trying to travel, it definitely was a very snowy day. This is what we were contending with. This band of snow that worked its way across the province, dropping 5 to 10 centimeters with it in most cases. Now pushing up towards Cape Breton. We're into the drier slot here this evening, but more overnight, we've got more snow to come. New Brunswick already seeing that backside of the system, and Nova Scotia will then see it move through tonight. And with that, likely another 2 to 5 centimeters in most cases, though we could see some pockets of about 5 to 10 centimeters for northern parts of the province and Cape Breton through Thursday morning. Inverness County, the higher terrain areas could see as much as 10 to 15 centimeters. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is as this snow tracks through overnight tonight, temperatures are going to drop. Where temperatures have been around freezing along the Atlantic coastline today, things are going to get icy and snowy for northern areas. So watch for icy conditions, snowy conditions with some drifting and blowing snow for Thursday morning. The Thursday morning commute is going to be another challenging one. So make sure you're leaving yourself lots of extra time and space.
Good advice there. Okay,
Thanks Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, on Tuesday, Halifax Council decided to stop an overhaul of the Windsor Street Exchange. Some transit advocates are celebrating the move, but the city's mayor says he's disappointed. Haley Ryan has more.
Some are applauding Halifax Council's decision to abandon the current redesign for the Windsor Street Exchange.
I'm very pleased that Council had the strong will to actually oppose it and I believe do the right thing.
The Cycling Coalition, alongside other groups, had urged councillors to scrap the design. They say it didn't prioritize transit and active transportation and would make congestion worse in the long term. There was only one dedicated bus lane in the plan and a multi-use pathway cyclists and pedestrians would share.
With the snowy day that it is today, the schedules, I was looking at them earlier, buses are late due to accidents taking place across the city. Bus lanes would allow them to get around things like that.
The redesign would have improved truck traffic to the Fairview Container Terminal, which will see a major increase when a new rail shuttle comes online. The Port Authority told CBC not improving truck access off the Windsor Street Exchange will lead to more significant traffic impacts in the future.
If we take a couple of years, we'll get what we want out of it. We'll get our transit priority. We'll get our active transportation, and the port can get what they want. There's ways to do it in the space.
But Mayor Andy Fillmore says he's disappointed with how the vote went.
We are at record congestion all over the municipality right now. The economy needs to keep moving. We had a plan that would do that, and unfortunately, we're stymied.
The original $50 million total that was shared with other levels of government has jumped to $150 million. That brings the city's cost from $10 million to $53 million. There is a chance councillors could reverse their decision at a later meeting, but it would require 2/3 of council to agree. Haley Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.
Quick update on our top story now. The QE2 emergency room has resumed normal operations, so that emergency room now back up and running at full. Well, the Houston government is making good on one of its campaign promises to raise the minimum wage, the largest ever increase in the province's history. It will increase twice this year. The first increase is 50 cents on April the 1st, then 80 cents more on October the 1st, bringing the minimum wage to $16.50 an hour. The government says it is adding more than usual this year to help with the cost of living. For a full-time minimum wage worker, it adds up to just over $2,500 extra a year. About 7% of workers in the province earn minimum wage. Right now, Nova Scotia has the lowest minimum wage in Atlantic Canada and the third lowest in the country.
The Bank of Canada has cut its interest rate by 25 points, bringing it to 3%. But officials warn that Donald Trump's tariff threat is clouding Canada's economic outlook.
I do need to be clear, it's still going to be difficult to be precise about the economic impacts because we have little historical experience with tariff changes of the magnitude that the U.S. is contemplating.
Officials add that without a trade war in the U.S., the country's GDP growth is expected to strengthen this year, with inflation remaining close to 2% target in recent months. The latest cut marks the sixth straight reduction since June. It's also a smaller one to follow two heftier cuts. The key rates were slashed by half a percentage point in both October and December. A Hamond Plains couple is finally back home after their house was destroyed in the 2023 Tantallon wildfire. Over the past 6 months, several charities have been hard at work rebuilding the property. And as the CBC's Selena Alders reports, the couple is thrilled to be back in their community and start this new chapter.
After being displaced for more than a year and a half, Sue Reed and Phil Fizzard were given the keys to their newly rebuilt home. The couple was close to retiring, but lost everything in the 2023 Tantallon wildfire, which destroyed more than 200 structures and forced thousands of people to evacuate. But finally, a sense of relief.
Pretty emotional.
Yeah, very emotional. Yeah, it's wonderful to come home again, and this is amazing. This house is amazing.
The community is amazing.
Yes.
Reed and Fizzard say they have the community to thank for their new home. The rebuild was a partnership between Habitat for Humanity, United Way, and the Red Cross.
This house is more than just walls and a roof. It's a symbol of your resilience, your hope, and the brighter days ahead.
If anybody wants to donate money to causes,
Those are the ones to do it.
Red Cross, United Way, and Habitat, I'd give them everything I got. Well, you know what? I got nothing to give them, but I will. Right? It's just...
It's amazing.
In order to partner with Habitat, the homeowners must have been under or uninsured. Partner families also have to volunteer 500 hours and pay an affordable mortgage based on income. No down payment is needed. Williamson says it's been great working with the couple, but it was an emotional journey.
When I first met Phil, I didn't even know he could smile, and now every time I see him, I'm like, where's that smile? And it's really changed. It's changed their outcome.
Reed and Fizzard say they could not be more pleased and are ready to start moving their things in.
Awesome
that we
job.
have it and we're moving in and we can't wait.
Yeah.
We can't wait. Yeah.
Selena Alders, CBC News, Hamond Plains.
France has rejected a bid to move 2 killer whales to a proposed refuge here in Nova Scotia. The whale sanctuary project had hoped to rescue the 2 orcas from marine parks in France and allow them to retire in a natural water enclosure on Nova Scotia's eastern shore. About 9 months ago, the charity expressed interest in the whales. However, a transport permit has been denied, with the French government citing concerns about sanctuary readiness and an ability to help the whales adapt to ocean temperatures. The charity disagrees with the ruling.
The difference in temperature between the tanks in Marine Land Antibes and the summer temperatures in Nova Scotia are not that great. And that is why we wanted to bring them in the summer so that they would have several months of acclimation before the winter sets in. So that wouldn't have been a problem.
Marino says 2 orcas will likely be moved to another concrete tank in Spain. She says the group is asking the French government to reconsider its decision. Curlers from across the country will descend on Sydney next week for the Canadian Vision Impaired Curling Championship.
It is the first time the event has been held outside of Ottawa. The CBC's Kyle Moore has that story.
For the better part of 17 years, Mary Campbell has been on the ice curling. She's totally blind, but that hasn't stopped her from enjoying the game and making shots with direction from her coach, which she will be doing at the Canadian Vision Impaired Curling Championships in Sydney next week.
They stand so far out in front of me, maybe 6 feet or so, and they walk backwards and they call my name, like they'll say Mary, 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 and they'll tell me which turn to go, either clockwise or counterclockwise, which is either in turn or out turn.
Vision impaired curling basically follows the same rules, but they use different tools. Partially sighted players use a light to guide them when throwing the rock.
And that's to let me know what the skip had called for on the other end to where we have to shoot. And because the league cannot sweep, then there's a designated sweeper, so that makes a 5th player for the team.
Tony Shaw plays second. He says the sport is all about inclusion.
Due to retina issues, my vision got worse, so I'm only partially sighted. But I didn't know that this was going on until it happened to me. Like, I didn't know there was a vision impaired team. So I think it's kind of inspirational that we have such a team and that they're able to curl.
And that's it. Canada, the Hamond Empire, will rule the world. Canada is your Canadian women's curling champion.
It's been less than a year since curlers from around the world descended on Sydney for the World Women's Curling Championship. Before that, Sydney played host to the Scotties. Louise Gillis says the 2 major events has created a buzz in the community around the sport.
It has increased the membership at this club tremendously. You know, we've had many more people come and enjoy the sport, and that's what it's all about, is to get out and enjoy, no matter what your ability is.
The team has already had success on the ice, winning gold in 2019 and silver in 2020. But Mary Campbell says there will be nothing like winning on home ice.
Oh, it would be really exciting. It would be like thrilling.
Play begins February 3rd. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Well, it's a pretty day for a walk. Bundle up if you can. Ryan's up next with the full weather forecast. We'll see you in a bit.
Well, the snow was really coming down at times today in the Halifax area, and then it was like someone pulled a lever, and that was it.
And left a slushy mess behind.
It certainly did. As temperatures rising this evening along the Atlantic coast, or this afternoon into this evening along that Atlantic coastline. And so that's one of the key things I'm watching overnight is we're going to be seeing temperatures drop. And so where the snow was slushy or has turned slushy, that's all going to freeze up and become pretty icy. The north, where temperatures have remained below the freezing mark, we'll see a little bit more snow there overnight tonight than we will in the south. And so things are going to be snowy there. So a little bit of tricky driving conditions for everybody for Thursday morning. Have a look at those temperatures right now, and you can see that we are at 3 at Western Head and Bacaro and Yarmouth. We're looking at 2 in Halifax and Lunenburg. So 1 in Sheet Harbor as well. So those temps along the Atlantic coastline, this is where I'm most concerned about things turning icy, as those temperatures will drop in a hurry overnight tonight. You can see the winds have been, well, changeable today. First in from the southeast to east, and now backing in from the west on the other side of this low. And you can almost see where the center of this low is here now. Still getting into the southerly winds, southeasterly winds across Cape Breton, and then wrapping in on the back side of the system. And this is what will pull in that colder air. Still gusting upwards of 50 to 60 kilometers per hour along parts of the coast. There's the snow that created all the fun for the drive today. And yeah, you can see into Cape Breton now, but starting to work its way to the north. And this is what we're going to be seeing on the back side of this system, is this wraparound snow moving in, and certainly the cold air. And cold, yeah, it's definitely cold. You can see the minus double-digit air that's going to be moving its way in for us. Temperatures rebounding, though, and again, that jet stream is very active across the country right now. Let's zoom back in and get you right into the nitty-gritty here with the forecast. So tonight, temperatures are going to drop into the minus 10 to 12 range for most. Minus 5s on the board for Cape Breton, but you folks will continue to fall throughout the day tomorrow. Those winds will continue to gust 50 to 60. So there's that first band of snow pushing off for most except northern Inverness that'll hang into the snow. And here comes that secondary push overnight. Most of us looking at about 2 to 5 centimeters from this. Could see some pockets, though, of 5 to 10 overnight in through the north, and also possible over places like South Mountain. Now, as we look at the forecast for tomorrow, you can see we're going to see some initial flurries early on, then gradual clearing. Cape Breton will continue to see the flurries throughout the day. The rest of the mainland looking pretty quiet, but cold. Boy, will it be cold. There's the snowfall outlook, and you can see this is from this evening overnight into Thursday. And there are those widespread 2 to 5 and those pockets of 5 to 10 over the north. We'll show you the temperatures first. So these minus 5, minus 6 temps are in the morning, falling into the afternoon. Winds gusting 50 to 60 for Cape Breton for tomorrow and eastern mainland. Gusting 50 to 60 for central as well. Minus 9 to minus 13. So basically, the temperature you wake up to in the morning is the temperature it will be all day. And you're not seeing much relief from the wind chill either. Feeling minus 15 to minus 25 tomorrow morning. And that's basically where we'll stay throughout the day. So bundle up. Now for Friday, big change. We've got temperatures back up near the freezing mark. And we are going to be looking at that next system starting to move in. Now this, pretty good agreement here that we see this light wave pushing in on Friday with some snow. Unfortunately looking set to time out to bring more snow for the drive home on Friday. Where there's uncertainty is the track of the next system that's holding hands with that little wave. And there it is there. Now, most of the guidance as of this evening has us in that 5 to 10 centimeter zone and those heaviest snow bands just to the south. But the American model, it's far enough north that we would be into that more significant snow. It's for the moment on an island with that idea, but can't rule it out as it's going to be an awfully close track. And so either way, we will clear through Saturday and usher in yet another very cold air mass. So uncertainty for the totals, but looking likely that Friday afternoon's drive home will be impacted with some snow, heaviest snow overnight Friday, and then very cold and quiet for the weekend. And looks pretty likely we'll see a mixed event moving in on Monday. Tom and Amy.
Busy times.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Coming up, minimum wage is taking a big jump, but what does that mean for small businesses in Nova Scotia? A group that represents small business in this province says this was a mixed day for entrepreneurs in Nova Scotia. On the one hand, the Canadian Federation of Independent Business is heralding the Houston government for reducing red tape, but says it is concerned about the rate of increase for this province's minimum wage. Duncan Robertson is with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. So in your red tape report, you give Nova Scotia the second highest marks in the country, an A- in fact, when it comes to reducing red tape. What is it that the province is doing to earn that mark?
Well, I definitely think the secret sauce behind that grade is definitely the Office of Service Efficiency. They are full-time employees who are devoted to addressing red tape in our province, taking feedback from the public, and really finding new and innovative ways to ensure that we're really a streamlined economy. Recently focusing on the physician burden across Nova Scotia, addressing that, and also providing services like business navigators, which help small businesses navigate the myriad of regulatory requirements in the province, and is really a help for many small businesses.
So is the CFIB seeing any evidence of how those changes might be bearing fruit?
Well, absolutely. If we think the grade in general, look, in 10 years past, there was a D-, now it's an A-. But the Office of Service Efficiency has also saved businesses around $825,000. Now, that's not just saving money, but also saving time. We estimate that the average business owner works around 32 days a year on red tape. So when we see a province really fighting to address that, it's definitely worth an applause and definitely worthy of the grade that they received.
Are you hearing that feedback from your members? I mean, are they seeing it in their own businesses?
Yeah, I think for sure. Look, it depends on the business, but particularly that they have those services available is definitely helpful. We provide services to small businesses, but to see government step up and do that as well, it definitely helps small business owners when they access that program. So, of course, it's always a question of ensuring that they know that those programs are out there and ensuring that they can access them in an available fashion.
So what's missing? What else would you like to see government do?
Well, they did get a high grade, but look, there is always room for improvement, particularly when we look at interprovincial trade. That's always been a question of improvement, particularly when we think of tariffs south of the border. So we're definitely looking for Nova Scotia to put that effort that they put into red tape into addressing internal trade. In our 2024 report, the province scored a C, so definitely some room for improvement there. We're seeing the Premier step up and say that it's a no-brainer to address internal trade barriers. So we like to see some new innovative initiatives be brought forward by the province.
All right, so you're saying some good news for independent businesses in this province. On the other hand, there will be an added cost to running a small business, the minimum wage increasing $1.30 this year. We hear the government talking about that today. How is CFIB seeing that size of an increase, the largest increase we've ever had?
Well, look, for small business owners, for many, it's been a gut punch, particularly those operating on thin margins, such as businesses in retail and hospitality. And it will mean some tough decisions for small business owners, whether they change operations or have to increase prices. At the end of the day, particularly when we think of small businesses, many don't have that ability to absorb these costs and have to pass it on in higher prices. That's not something that happens at bigger businesses. So again, it impacts competition. But there is some red flags out there looking at the Minimum Wage Review Committee, which is an impartial committee. They proposed $15.70 in April, but they did not propose such a high increase in October. So it's imperative that the provincial government put forward their justification as to why that increase at that amount to ensure that they're able to point to real economic indicators that are reflected in our overall economy.
Well, yeah, you look at those smaller businesses, and as you say, they compete against larger businesses for workers, for staff, among other things. Doesn't making the increase in the minimum wage make it a little more attractive for employees to go to that small business employer?
Well, look, it is definitely an issue. But look, the issue here is that there is a reflection in those prices. And we think about the consumer, we think about the demand. It may drive more people to those large businesses, impacting smaller businesses. And we think of minimum wage increases in general, it does have a rippling effect across the wage structure. So it is a concern if small businesses will able to even afford to increase hiring. So that's definitely a concern as well.
So what basis would you like to see the increases measured against?
Well, it's important that they're reflective of what's going on in the economy. Particularly, we would like to see minimum wage increases pegged at the same rate that the median wage increases in our province to ensure it's reflective of what's going out there in the economy. We really don't want to see it turned into a political football. And these ad hoc increases chosen by a minister, it's not really reflective of what's going out there. And that, again, the question is, why is it that amount? We want to see some real stats and data to drive that decision, which right now we're not seeing.
Are you able to forecast what a $1.30 increase in the minimum wage would do to some of your members?
Well, when we talk about minimum wage increases, around 6 and 10 say that it may increase the prices. Around that amount also decides, they are going to have to increase wages across the board. So it brings into question hiring levels as well. So we'll have to see over the next couple months what the overall impact is. But there's definitely a difficult decision and some difficult choices having to be made by small business owners in our province over the next few weeks and months.
All right, Duncan Robertson, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Coming up, Canadian officials are still trying to figure out the best way to respond to President Trump's tariff threats, which appear to be more and more inevitable.
And as Ottawa considers potential retaliation on the U.S., there are talks about a buy local campaign for Canada. Welcome back. Canadian political and business leaders are scrambling to prepare for possible U.S. tariffs.
And with that measure set to be implemented in just days, there is a heightened sense of urgency. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with the premiers again today. Kate McKenna has more.
The head of the Bank of Canada says Donald Trump's next move could change the whole economic outlook.
The potential for a trade conflict triggered by new U.S. tariffs on Canadian exports is a major uncertainty. This could be very disruptive to the Canadian economy.
Trump said tariffs are coming to Canadian goods on Saturday. They could plunge Canada into a recession.
Everything's urgent as we're, trying to navigate, a fairly uncertain environment.
Trump has said Canada can avoid tariffs if it strengthens border security. But Canada's public safety minister says the border is safe.
We know that less than 1% of all fentanyl entering the United States comes from Canada. We know this because American data has told us that that is the case.
The federal government pledged over $1 billion to a border package, which included new helicopters. But it hasn't seemed to change Trump's mind, leaving some lawmakers unsure what would convince the president to back down.
Things are not going to get solved in a couple of weeks. And even determining exactly what it is that President Trump wants is not a simple thing.
Meanwhile, Canadian industry is left with uncertainty, saying if big tariffs come, they need financial support from government.
Canada's industries cannot withstand such a potential shock to their operations.
The premiers and prime minister met again.
Much of the meeting was focused on the conversation of supports. I here in New Brunswick, with the support of some of my colleagues, have been calling on the federal government to bring some things to the table.
A big bailout package would require parliamentary support from opposition leaders. One premier warns against any move to block financial aid.
Very simply, this is not about you. It's about workers. It's about their families. It's about a historic moment in Canadian history. Our identity, our unity is under attack. Our workers are under attack. Put your political agendas aside. There'll be plenty of time for that.
Some top Canadian officials are planning to meet on Friday, hoping to have a clearer picture of what Trump intends to do. In the meantime, they're meeting with American lawmakers to try to convince Trump to back down. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Donald Trump's nominee to run the U.S. Commerce Department says Canada could avoid steep tariffs if it closed its borders to fentanyl. Billionaire Howard Lutnick made the comment during his Senate confirmation today. Caroline Bargu has more from Washington.
Tariffs came up multiple times at the Senate confirmation hearing, and it was very clear that Howard Lutnick supports them. He strongly believes U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to generate wealth through tariffs.
This tariff model is simply to shut their borders with respect America. If we are your biggest trading partner, show us the respect, shut your border, and end fentanyl coming into this country.
Lutnick also laid out what Canada would need to do if it wants to avoid them. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protections, less than 20 kilograms of fentanyl was seized along the border with Canada last year. Compare that with the 9,000 kilograms that was seized along the U.S. border with Mexico. CBSA says it seized about 5 kilograms of fentanyl on this side of the U.S.-Canada border between January 1st and October 31st last year. Canada has promised to spend more than $1 billion to secure the border and try to appease Trump and avoid tariffs. Lutnick was asked if he preferred broad tariffs or taxing individual items, and here's what he said.
I prefer across the board. I think when you pick one product in Mexico, they'll pick one product. We pick avocados, they pick white corn, we pick tomatoes, they pick yellow corn. All you're doing is picking on farmers, which is just not going to happen.
Lutnick is the chief executive and chairman at Cantor Fitzgerald, a Wall Street brokerage firm. He's expected to be confirmed as Commerce Secretary. It's not clear when. Caroline Bargut, CBC News, Washington.
Well, in response to Donald Trump's tariff threat, some Canadian consumers are vowing to boycott American goods. But that could prove challenging. Lindsay Duncombe explains.
We've been hearing it from politicians for weeks now. They're saying in the face of these American tariff threats, Canadians should shop at home, buy Canadian. Now, that's something that's easy to say, but not so easy to do. The reality is there are lots of goods Canada doesn't produce and a lot of food we can't grow, especially in winter. In order to buy Canadian, shoppers need to do research. They need to be prepared to make substitutions. And the reality is you're probably going to have to pay more. We talked to some experts about how to buy Canadian, and they said the easiest place to start is the grocery store. There, it should be pretty clearly labeled. You can see if your apples are from Washington or if they're from the Okanagan. The grocery store is where you also might have to make some substitutions because take oranges. There are no orange groves in Canada. So if you like juice in the morning and you want to buy Canadian, then you just might have to substitute and start drinking apple juice. And when it comes to cost, yeah, it might cost you a bit more. And it's not just for food. That's true for clothing and for furniture. The reason is Canadian products are often made at a smaller scale, and we have different regulations, higher labor costs. The experts we spoke to said that means this might be prohibitive for some people to buy Canadian, but they did say to start small. Buy Canadian where you can, do some research, and that if you are able to make some changes, it would be supporting workplaces and people and the industry here at home in the face of those looming tariff threats. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
The man expected to become the top U.S. health official faced tough questions from Democrats at his confirmation hearing. Robert Kennedy Jr. was grilled about his past anti-vaccine views. But Donald Trump's pick still had several supporters on the Republican side. Chris Reyes has the details.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sparred and debated with senators over what he would do as the top public health official in the U.S.
I promised President Trump that if confirmed, I will do everything in my power to put the health of Americans back on track.
RFK Jr. spent most of the hearing defending his controversial views on health issues, including the safety of vaccines.
I am supportive of vaccines. I want good science.
Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse demanded this.
If you want to move from advocacy to public responsibility, Americans are going to need to hear a clear and trustworthy recantation of what you have said on vaccinations, including a promise from you never to say vaccines aren't medically safe when they in fact are.
RFK Jr. insisted he's not an anti-vaxxer, despite his past public statements questioning their use. During the hearing, he repeatedly said he's pro-safety. He was only asked about his views about vaccines by Democrats. If confirmed, RFK Jr. would head dozens of agencies, including the Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Republicans showed their support for Trump's health secretary pick. Senator Ron Johnson held up letters of support that he said was signed by more than 60,000 people across party lines.
You called me up and you were contemplating setting your political differences aside, joining forces with President Trump on an area of agreement, addressing chronic illness, trying to find the root cause of all these problems facing this nation. My first response was, Bobby, this is an answer to my prayers. We need to get to the answers of this.
RFK Jr. can only afford to lose the votes of 3 Republicans for his confirmation to pass. He faces one more hearing on Thursday. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
In the Middle East, thousands of displaced people are continuing to return to their homes in northern Gaza. People are using whatever means they can to make the journey. Palestinian authorities estimate hundreds of thousands of people are now returning to the heavily damaged region. It is one of the conditions outlined in the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. Many homes and businesses have been reduced to rubble in the 15 months of fighting.
Several people have been killed in a crowd rush in northern India. It happened at one of the world's largest religious gatherings. Officials are now working to find out what caused the stampede, even though there were measures supposedly in place to prevent one from happening. The CBC's Salima Shivji reports from Mumbai.
sirens adding to the chaos as police struggle to carve a path through the sea of people. The painful scramble to pull as many survivors out as possible, over the barricades and away from the crush, after a deadly stampede in the early hours on the most auspicious day of India's Maha Kumbh Mela, a Hindu religious gathering that draws hundreds of millions. It's not clear what exactly caused the crush. It was calm, this woman says, and then there was a huge crowd pushing and shoving. There was no chance of escaping. I was sitting down when the entire crowd fell on top of me, this devotee says, trampling me, and others were crushed as barricades broke and buckled. Stretcher after stretcher of the injured were hurried into the nearby hospital. While outside, family members gathered distraught, broken by grief, as they waited for news of their loved ones. Elsewhere, bathing continued in the waters considered holy for devout Hindus. And India's Prime Minister offered his condolences, calling the tragedy extremely sad. Even many hours after the stampede, there was no official word from the government on a death toll or the number of injured. Authorities saying very little. Until finally, at the end of the day, confirmation. State officials saying 30 people had died with 60 more injured. The festival has been heavily promoted by the Indian government, authorities touting the intense police presence and slew of CCTV cameras, using AI to detect and manage crowd surges. But whatever was in place failed to protect the dozens caught in a surging crowd full of faith on a day now filled with loss. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mumbai.
As the wildfires continue to burn in Southern California, there's growing data suggesting these extreme weather events are only set to increase with climate change. Anand Ram looks at the cost of such disasters and questions about who should foot the bill.
The rains were sorely needed in Pasadena, but reveal the scars of what happened just a few weeks ago. Now, a new rapid analysis suggests these scenes might repeat themselves.
Peak January fire weather this extreme is about 35% more likely to occur in the current climate.
Climate change intensified the hot and dry conditions, turning vegetation into fuel. And then heavy winds helped the fires go where they normally don't.
This is my home. And my home is gone.
But even as Californians wait to see if they have pieces to pick up, experts say the climate crisis is stressing an industry responsible for helping them: insurance.
Rates have gone up dramatically, and insurers are declining to renew insurance or write new insurance.
With insured losses of these fires estimated at more than $30 billion, premiums are likely to spike for everyone, triggering a potential domino effect.
We're starting to see some evidence that folks are defaulting on their mortgage, not just in California, but elsewhere in the United States, as these insurance prices go up.
We are all paying for these disasters, but there is one stakeholder that is not paying.
One California bill introduced this week seeks to let insurers and homeowners sue oil and gas companies as the burning of fossil fuels continues to drive global heating. The industry called it theatrics and scapegoating. But with the science pointing to a more uninsurable future, experts say the money has to come from somewhere. Anand Ram, CBC News, Toronto.
An indoor pickleball franchise based in Utah has ambitious plans for expanding into Canada. It has made inroads on this side of the border, but still faces some serious challenges. The CBC's Paulo DeHatchuk reports.
Even at noon on a Tuesday, the Calgary Pickleball Center is full.
The supply is not enough to meet the demands.
Clearly, pickleball is popular, and now an American company has set its sights on the Canadian market. It wants to open a network of pickleball franchises in every city in the country.
With our expansive growth through the U.S., it's a natural business move to come north.
The company was recently in Toronto, making its pitch to potential franchise owners.
We recognize the need to have the facility in our area. We have very limited real pickleball courts in Kitchener-Waterloo. Our only stumbling block right now is there's limited space that is available to accommodate the requirements of what we need to set up a pickler in town.
That's a common problem. To build a facility, you need a big space with high ceilings. Commercial real estate firm CBRE says Canada just doesn't have that much empty real estate that fits the bill.
You can be quote unquote hungry for space, but if there's no food on the table, you're as hungry as you want. There's nothing to eat. So the issue here is it's a supply constraint.
Back in Alberta, the Calgary Pickleball Centre says it had a similar problem. It eventually opened in an empty HVAC supply shop.
Finding the space is a tough one. Finding space is a really tricky one if you're not going to build it yourself.
The Pickler says it understands Canada is a different beast.
The U.S. is way overdeveloped in comparison to Canada, right? So we're going to have to be very strategic on our real estate moves.
Still, he's optimistic. The company has just signed an offer to lease its first Canadian location in Winnipeg. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Calgary.
Canada's main stock index closed higher Wednesday as the Bank of Canada cut its key lending rate, while U.S. markets dipped as the U.S. Federal Reserve kept its rate unchanged. Here's a look at how the markets did as we head to break. Right, thinking about the shoveling I have to do when I get home tonight, which isn't bad. We haven't had a lot of shoveling to do of late.
No, not so much, but you do have to shovel it before it freezes, right?
Good point.
Lift with the knees, Tom.
Yep.
Okay.
We got to remember how to do that again.
That's right.
Ryan and I'll help you.
Oh, yeah. We'll come over. Yeah,
okay. Well, it's 7:15 to be fine. I'll see you there.
Let's have a look at the snow that has been tracking across the province today. So this is the radar, the last 6 hours, and you can see where we'll start the loop here, where it was, coming down at a nice and steady rate here across the central areas. Now it is pushed off and is starting to work its way out of Cape Breton over the next little bit. The model doing a pretty good job with the timing of this, and you can see that what we'll see overnight is this next round coming through. It's a lot lighter, but it will be enough to drop, say, 2 to 5 centimeters to scrape up tomorrow morning. Could see some pockets that do get up in towards the 5 to 10 zone, back towards Antigonish County, Pictou County, and certainly Inverness, northern Inverness, as we're going to hang on to the flurries there throughout the morning. Note those temperatures falling in Cape Breton tomorrow, steady across the mainland in the -8 to -12 range. It is going to be very, very chilly. There's the snowfall outlook. So this is additional snowfall tonight. And you can see where those highest amounts towards the north and east. So there's the forecast temperatures tomorrow, -8 to -12. -5 to 6, those are your highs in the morning for Cape Breton, falling as we said. Those winds gusting 50 to 60 kilometers per hour, and those wind chills, it is definitely going to be
biting.
Biting, that's a great word for it. Long John's weather, if I ever saw, you can see that is going to be the case tomorrow. Okay, so quickly updating, we've been talking about Friday, still looking at this first push coming in on Friday afternoon. We'll have to watch for that to make things greasy for the Friday afternoon drive. And then, again, the million-dollar question is, how far south is this system going to track? I mentioned earlier in the program, the American model has been most bullish. It just had a run come out over the last 20 minutes or so. It has started to shift south a little bit as well.
Okay.
So right now, the best guess is kind of a 5 to 10 centimeter shot Friday night into Saturday morning. If it shifts north, there would be more than that, but going with 5 to 10 with a stay tuned for updates on Thursday.
Sounds like I'll be shoveling again.
Yes.
You guys are available. You've
Of
already
course.
said it.
Always. Yeah.
Okay, today marks the start of the Lunar New Year, and here's the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, lit up to celebrate.
The Year of the Snake is officially underway, and cities around the world are getting into the swing of things. Lunar New Year is celebrated by billions of people on the first new moon of the lunisolar calendar.
People born in the Year of the Snake are said to be intelligent, charismatic, and artistic, and the advice this coming year is to be more open-minded and transparent.
There you go.
That's good advice.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.